Boo! At the open, all-time high for the S&P 500.
It's your boy Jimmy.
Now, what's worth doing is worth doing for money.
Straight from y'all street to Wall Street.
Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil, doesn't make up happen.
Dudes wake up, hope their girl turned on so they can get a little bit. Only woman in the morning, I wanna turn on this. Becky quick. While the average man looking at this, it's sad like she fine as yeah. I'm over here looking at tails and whips like 5'6". I left the mayhem for the market. Now I don't want a dope spot, I want a stock pick. I know that booty got dry, triggered my stop losses, but I ain't got time for your wop. My V-Wops crossing. Rich with hot V's and pushing hot keys. Strategy and plans to make grand. Still in my wife beater, Batman pajamas, house slides, and about 5 hot picks for the day. Cause I like the way the Dow bounce. 4 hot dips on call, so I got options. 2 with a lot of volume, 1 with a double bottle. Now I know dumb money don't understand. Am I talking about my trade or just thinking with my MACD? You see, we different in the way we move. You move with kittens and your dog, I move with bears and bulls. I got a green thumb, grow with the marijuana. Waking up with the fun, open up some commas. Jump out of bed, big profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, big profits. Light up, watching them can make profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them passes and stop. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ profits. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETL, make profits. I jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up, watching them can make profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. See, me and Jim Cramer been talking mad money. Said today I'm taking a risk. They got the feds coming, but I got support here with me. I call a short squeeze. You get the drop, she pull the trigger and abort these. If she stay on my watch list, I might have to wife her. But I know better. I'm a true trading group lifer. Call up the Wolf of Weed Street. It's time to flip some profits. Go ahead, be hawking. Get your spot here. I'll double top that in the head and shoulders. Hit him up with this resistance. Watch him roll over. Cause I see John Wicks in contract. If I say I make $1 million a day, well, that's a large cap. You moving average, that's why you get crossed. Get split, get delisted, and knocked off. and I'm setting the whole block off. I'm buying GameStop and selling them roadblocks off. Jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up watching them cans, make profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them packs. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETF. Hey, my family. Hey, go, what we doing, my man? Make profits. Hey, Shug, Mike, what we doing, dog? Make profits. Yo, Wolf, Professor, what we doing? Make profits. That TTG money gang, making profits. We some snipers.
Hey, you, what's up, everyone? What's going on? Welcome to the True Trading Group live stream. My name is Michael Edward Parinati. I go by Michael Edward, and I'm the co-founder and head trader of True Trading Group. In case you guys didn't know, we are the Benzinga FinTech Chairman's Award recipient for Best AI Analysis Tool. If you guys are searching endlessly and aimlessly for an AI tool that can help analyze trade setups for you, give you trade plans, suggest entries and exits, break down probability of move, and help you guys make more money, you look no further. There's the actual award, the Benzinga FinTech Chairman's Award for Best AI Analysis Tool. That is from just a couple months ago. My business partner and I, right up there on stage, receiving that award for Best AI Analysis Tool. So it's nice to see industry leaders taking note and recognizing what it is that we are doing, implementing AI technology into retail trading to make your life more profitable and easier. But it's not just about awards here. We're the fastest growing and highest rated premium online educational platform that combines university level trading and investing courses with premium stock market tools, live workshops, individual coaching and mentorship for stocks, options, crypto, and futures. We day trade, we swing trade. We also cover long-term investing. There is literally something for everybody here at True Trading Group. If you're wondering why you should listen to anything that it is that I discuss on this YouTube channel, it's because honestly, I didn't figure this out watching YouTube videos or sitting in Discord chats. I began my career working at T3 Alpha Fund in New York City, my first job out of college. While there, they had me go through a training program before they let me touch $1 of the fund's money. Then 2008 happened. It was the Great Recession, the big stock market crash, but also the same year that I received one of the firm's Trader of the Year awards. Now you fast forward, I'm the co-founder and head trader of TTG, and along with my team of 8 other professional full-time trading mods and an over 30-person staff, we have helped thousands of members from all over the world to reach their goals. We have 10,000 members in 115 different countries, truly a global community here at True Trading Group. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, smash the like button, show some love, turn on your notifications, make sure you never miss out on any of these live streams. I'm dropping golden nuggets on a regular basis. Big announcement, Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be going live right here on this YouTube channel. We are going to be discussing in detail my outlook for 2025. What I think the markets are going to do, what sectors I think perform best, some individual stocks that we're going to be paying attention to. My TTG members will be getting a full-blown detailed report of my outlook, and I will just talk about it on that live stream. So make sure you set your reminders. It's going to be Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's something that our members really look forward to. It's something that I've been doing now for the last 5 or 6 years. And I put it out the end of December or early January. I'm kind of late this year because my whole house was sick. I actually had a bunch of family here over the holidays. I had people that had company longer than I anticipated I was going to have company for. So I didn't get as much done over the holidays as I would have liked to. And then I got sick. And apparently I had COVID. I had no idea that I had COVID, but I was just sick and I was like, whatever. So I had a few days where I didn't get anything done. And then as soon as I started feeling better, my daughter got sick and then she had COVID. So if my daughter, who's 5.5 months old, if she doesn't sleep, that means I don't sleep, which means I didn't get any work done. Then finally, when my daughter started feeling better, my wife got COVID. And since my wife had COVID, that means I'm on dad duty. Dad duty. So I got nothing done. And I was so far behind, so I'm a little late issuing that report this year. I do apologize and appreciate the patience from all of our members, but that report is coming to you on Monday. Okay. Now, to say those market outlook reports over the last 5 or 6 years have been absolutely freaking spot on. We have well outperformed the S&P now for 5-6 years running, and let's see if we can keep it going. We've been right about the commodity plays that we've looked at. We've looked at oil. We've looked at, uranium and nuclear stocks. We've talked about crypto. We talked about gold from a commodity standpoint, but the individual stocks that we've gotten ourselves into, the Palantirs, the Kavas, obviously the NVIDIAs, the Palo Altos and the Salesforces and the Broadcoms have just done so incredibly well for us. And I got a new batch of stocks that I think are going to do well for us this year and going forward. And I think that I've got a nice game plan of how I think we can outperform the market again this year. That's my goal with these things. My goal with these things is to do better than the S&P. That's what our goal has been for the last 6 years running, and we've accomplished that goal each and every single year. Let's see if we can make it for 6 in a row, right? We've done it for the last 5 years. Let's see if we can make it 6 in a row. So that's the market outlook report. So again, make sure you guys set your reminders there. The rest of you that are, if you're not a member of True Trading Group, my suggestion to you, while we talk a lot about that market outlook for 2025, but also rip off some really great, amazing trades. We took profits today on one of my swing trades. I am long Wells Fargo after some really good earnings reports from the banks. We took profits off today right before the close. The option contract from Wednesday's entry is up 150%. So congratulations to all the members of True Trading Group that have been following along with that trade. If you guys follow this YouTube channel, then you would know that I was in that position. I share with you my positions that are open, that I'm already in. I share with you positions I'm going to be getting into. So make sure you guys turn your notifications on. Don't ever miss out on these lives. But aside from that, you can join the trial and you guys can come trade with us for 7 full trading days. You can join the trial right now, and don't worry about Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, the market's closed, because weekends and holidays don't count against your 7 days. It's not calendar days, it's actual trading days. So if you guys go to ttgtrial.com, enter your name, email, phone number, click yes, I want this, fill out the form, pay the $3, get your butt inside chat. The reason why we charge you $3, just to make sure you're a real person. We maintain a very high quality chat room during the day. There's thousands of people in that chat room at any given moment trying to make money, and that is their goal. I will not tolerate people coming in being distracting and being disruptive from our members reaching that goal. The one-time payment of $3 is just that, a one-time payment. There's no automatic renewal. There's no reoccurring fee. There's no automatic upgrade to an annual membership in case you forget to cancel your membership. We don't play any games like that, okay? It's just a one-time payment. You're there for 7 trading days. Afterwards, it just expires. You never charge anything ever again. So again, that is ttgtrial.com. Let's talk about that Wells Fargo trade real quick. All right, let's talk about the Wells Fargo trade real quick. And this is, for me, this was an A+ setup. And, I'm still long. We took profit today, but I'm still in a piece. The piece I have left is my last piece. So we trade in tiers at TTG, and you'll learn to do that too when you guys become a member. What that means is when we're right, we take profit in pieces. I don't sell my whole position all at once. Hopefully, I sell multiple times because that means I'm getting a ton of really good follow through. And then we move your stop loss up as you continue, the trade continues to work and you protect those gains. And that's what we've been doing. And I go through with our members explaining, essentially how trading is all about probability. And there is not a chart pattern. There's not an indicator that works 100% of the time. It's kind of like poker in a sense. In poker, there's no 2 cards that you can be dealt pre-flop that gives you a 100% success rate. Now, the highest possible probability is pocket aces. So 2 aces in your hand before the flop comes out. That's the highest probability that you can possibly have, but it does not guarantee that you're going to win the hand. Trading is kind of like that. Your job is not to predict the future. Nobody could predict the future. Sure, we have our thoughts and our beliefs and our analysis on where we think the market or an individual stock is going to go, but I'm not predicting the future. I'm basing what's the probability that the stock moves up or down based on all of the things that I know, which is my technical analysis, my 18 years of experience, my training on Wall Street, my working at a fund and trading professionally, and now we're doing this for myself and being the owner and the co-founder of True Trading Group. Where do I think a stock is going to go? Doesn't mean I'm always going to be right. I'm right a hell of a lot more than I'm wrong, but I do also make red trades sometimes. And you gotta learn how to control your risk just as much as you learn how to maximize your gains. The moderators and I collectively as a group have been able to maintain a cumulative win rate on all of our executions of just around 80%. I've gone on roughly the last 6 years. Now we actually track for you every entry, every take profit, every stop out, every green, red, break even trade. So you can see for yourself exactly how you'd be performing if you were taking profit when we were and stopping out when we were, because like I said, we trade in tiers. So we exit in multiple places. So if I exit 25% of my position and you exit 50, and then I exit 25, and then you exit 25, then I exit 50, and then you exit 25, we're not going to have the same gain, right? So that's why it's important you guys get to see that stuff. All right. So for those of you, like I said, that are not members and you guys are interested and want to join the trial, you guys can see all the trade alerts that we make. You get real-time push notifications to your phone, let you know exactly when we enter and exit our positions in real time. So if you guys are working a full-time job or you're not able to be in front of your computer screen, don't worry about it. 82% of our members have a full-time job, and download that mobile app and get real-time push notifications so you can follow along with all the trades that we make. Again, it's ttgtrial.com. It's a one-time payment of just $3. And you guys can get in chat with us on Tuesday and start ripping off some of these gains. All right? Beautiful. Back to Wells Fargo. It's all about probability. Okay? And how can we determine, basically what I do is I categorize stock setups or trade setups rather into 3 categories, A, B, C. An A setup has, in my opinion, a 75% probability. A B setup has 65% probability, and a C setup is a 50-50 coin flip. I'll teach you the difference, what makes probability higher versus lower for one setup versus another. And then you just have to have the patience to wait for the high quality setups. Avoid the C quality setups at all costs, right? You shouldn't be trading 50-50 odds. You want 50-50 odds, go to Vegas, put your money on red or black, right? This isn't Vegas. This isn't a casino. This is real life. This is real money. So we'll teach you guys how to do all that stuff. Wells Fargo came out with earnings on Wednesday, and along with some of your other banks, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, all gave you their earnings on Wednesday, and they were all good. All of them had earnings beats, earnings per share beats. They all issued really good guidance for 2025. And I actually think that the financials do well in 2025, specifically if there's deregulation, if there's adjustments made to Basel III, which was a regulation and a restriction, not really a restriction, but a regulation that was put on top of the banks after the great financial crisis in 2008 that essentially restricts the amount of capital that the banks could lend out, meaning the amount of cash that they actually have to hold and maintain within and actually hold onto specific values in cash to make sure that they always are solvent and they're liquid enough in case there's a credit crisis or in case there's an issue like there was in 2008 and all the banks had to be bailed out because the banks were insolvent and they didn't have enough liquidity. So those are called capital requirements, and that's a lot to do with Basel III. We'll see if some of that gets adjusted. The more money that a bank could lend out, the more profit that they could generate. So if there's adjustments to that and there's deregulation in the financial sector, that would mean increased profits and maybe some record-setting profits for these banks. We just had record-setting profits for the energy and the oil companies a few years ago. Okay, let's see now. All right, when oil went to $115 a barrel, you saw Chevron, Exxon. They reported record earnings. I think it's possible with some deregulation, you could see record earnings in some of these banks. Regional banks would do well as interest rates come down and deregulation, and then you have obviously the bigger major banks should do well with deregulation as M&A activity and trading activity picks up as well. So I'm bullish on financials. We'll see if that pans out for the rest of the year. But back to Wells Fargo. I digress. Wells Fargo had good earnings. It gapped above a key resistance level. One of the situations that you'll look for, that I'll teach you to look for, where you have an A quality setup is when a fundamental catalyst coincides with a technical setup. That's what I love. For example, if you have an area of resistance and an obvious resistance level and a stock gaps above it because of some fundamental news catalyst, whether it's earnings or the announcement of some kind of government contract or whatever it is, then there's more of a likelihood that prior level is going to act as support, the previous resistance level, there's more of a likelihood it's going to act as support now, and you're going to get further upside in the stock. There's millions of traders all over the world that trade based on a variety of different things. My trading style and strategy is based upon the more the merrier. Okay. And what I mean by that is the more indicators and the more catalysts that would lean towards one side of the market, the more likely I want to be in that position. You have traders out there that trade on technicals and technicals alone, based on moving averages, Fibonacci levels, Bollinger Bands, VWAP, and everything else, and Elliott Wave, and stochastics, and RSI, and MACD, and every other indicator you can possibly think of. There's traders that trade on technicals. Then there's traders and investors that buy and sell based on fundamentals. They don't care what a Fibonacci level of moving average or a VWAP says. They say, I believe the value of the company is X. It's currently trading at Y. I see 20% upside. I'm going to buy the stock. If you can have a situation where on one particular ticker, there could be something happening between the price action and the news that's going to gain the attention of technical traders and fundamental investors, then you have a more likely of a chance the stock is going to move in that direction. That is going to give you an A quality setup. This is the same thing applies to when there's not a fundamental news catalyst and it's just a technical setup. The setups that I go after from a technical standpoint have a lot to do with the more indicators that line up at a particular level, the more I trust the level. Because like how I said before, there's a lot of technical traders all over the world. There's traders that when a stock gets to VWAP, they buy it. When a stock gets to the 38.2 Fibonacci level, they buy it. When a stock gets to the 50-day moving average, they buy it. When a stock gets to the 200-day moving average, they buy it. When the stock gets to the 9 exponential moving average, they buy it. There's traders out there that buy based on all these different indicators. So when you have a situation where, let's say, at $73 or $73.50, you have 4 or 5 different technical indicators that all line up at that price, then that means all of the traders that buy off of those indicators are all going to happen to be transacting at that same price. So that's going to help create that support level and give me more of a probability of that support level holding and the stock continuing to move higher. I'm giving you kind of a broad 30,000 square foot overview lesson right now, but you guys get to learn this stuff like the back of your hand as a member of True Trading Group. That is exactly what you had with Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo had a nice little resistance level. It was a little pivot resistance level. It wasn't anything major, right? Where you had a level that used to be support. Okay. Used to be support, broke, then became resistance. Then you gapped above it with earnings. So when you gapped above that with earnings, I'm saying there's my price level. You also have the 9 exponential moving average, which is this teal blue line on my screen. You have the fundamental catalyst. And I said to myself, okay, this level now, I'm going to look for that to be support, which means I'm going to buy the stock as it pulls back into that level. And that's exactly what we did. So what I'm going to do is I'll leave this little entry box right here. We'll leave that there. Then I'm going to go to a 3-minute chart. And we're going to pan this over, and this is that same exact box, right? I didn't touch it. I know it looks like 3 lines, but this is actually the box. And what did we do? We dropped right into the box, and then there's your support. So just as we had anticipated, just as we had expected, that level is acting as support. So what did we do? We actually bought the stock right there on Wednesday. Right there was my entry. That's where I entered. I entered why? Because of this support level. And my stop loss was underneath. So there's my entry. And I'm going to stop out here if I'm wrong. Well, turns out I was not wrong. I was indeed, in fact, correct. And you can see what Wells Fargo has done over the course of the last 3 trading days. And on Wednesday, members jumped into the January 24th expiration, $75 strike call at around $1. That option trading at $2.50 today for a 150% gain. And we're still in a piece, and my final target is 78. Why is my final target 78? Well, that's the all-time high. There it is. There's your 78. That's your all-time high. That is my final take profit target. So I'd be happy if we get a gap up on Tuesday. Wells Fargo, 77.50, pop to 77.90, final take profit, Bada bing, bada boom, done. Great way to start the week. All right. So I'll always update you guys on the positions that I'm in and what I'm doing with them. That's what you got. Right. So a big shout out and a big congratulations to all of our members that were able to capitalize on that Wells Fargo trade. And we'll see if we can get to 78. We'll see if we can get that final target to 78. JP Morgan already made a new all-time high. Right. So JP Morgan already made its new all-time high. Goldman Sachs already made a new all-time high. Morgan Stanley already made a new all-time high. Now I'm waiting for Wells Fargo. All right, we'll see if Wells Fargo can give me that all-time high. All right? Nicely done, folks. Again, guys, join the trial. Start taking these trades. Do you think you could have got a notification on your phone at 9:45 a.m. on Wednesday that says January 24th expiration, $75 strike call, and you could have logged it on your phone, on your Webull, your Robinhood, logged in, bought some call, your Thinkorswim, whatever, logged in, bought some call options, set a stop loss, put your phone down, and then got a notification 3 hours later, we just took profit, and then get a notification today at 3:50 p.m. up, just took profit again. You pull up your phone, log into your account, take profit, put your phone back down. If you think that you'd be able to do that, then you guys got to really do yourself a favor and go to ttgtrial.com, name, email, phone number, click yes, I want this, fill out the form, pay the one-time payment of $3. You all have $3. Yeah, you've all spent more than $3 for a cup of coffee before. So, and that cup of coffee didn't make you any money. You're talking about $3 to trade with us for a full 7 trading days, myself and 8 other professional traders, and really be able to see what this is all about. The real reason why I think that you should do the trial, it's not necessarily because of me. It's not even necessarily because of the moderators. The real reason why you should do it is because our members are actually successful. Our members make money. 10,000 members from 115 different countries, the majority of which are making money. If you don't believe me, watch this. Members of TTG that are with me right now, simple question. Are you making money? Yes or no? Are you becoming a better trader? Yes or no? Type the number 1 in chat right now. If you're making money, if you're becoming a better trader because of TTG, type the number 1 in chat right now. Those of you that are not members, and if you may be considering joining the trial, just pay attention to how many number 1s you're going to see. And that should be all the convincing that you need to say, you know what? It's $3. What the hell? Why not? Download the mobile app, get notified when we enter and exit our positions, and see for yourself how you'd be performing if you were a part of TTG. There's a reason why our member retention rate is well into the 70 percentile. And there is a reason why our refund rate at True Trading Group is less than 2.5%. Okay. Less than 2.5% is our refund rate. If you guys have any questions, send a text message. We're more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have. 1-888-621-2127. That phone number, 1-888-621-2127. You guys can text that number if you have any questions at all. We'll be more than happy to answer anything that you guys want to know. Anything you need help with, anything at all. All right. Cody, what's up, my man? So Cody Hill, him and I had a one-on-one today. Yes, we do one-on-one mentoring at TTG. You're not just a number when you join True Trading Group. When you guys are part of the TTG fam, you guys, with our lifetime members and our all access members, we do one-on-one mentoring and one-on-one coaching. So every day, the moderators and I, we do one-on-one sessions with our members. And Cody was one of my one-on-one sessions today. Made some nice adjustments to an already really good trader and good strategy. Made some little tweaks and adjustments. Yeah, TTG truly cares, he says. We do. We actually do. You know what? I want to share something with you guys, actually. I posted something. I mean, you guys maybe won't care, but I care. I want to share it with you. I posted something on my Twitter. Joe, I don't know if you can actually maybe pull it up on the screen. It's right on my Twitter. I just posted it. It was a comment that I got from a member. We'll just give Joe 1 minute to see if he can go grab it or log in. Maybe we can pull it up on the screen. I would love to show you guys when it comes to when I get messages like this, it really lets me know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. I know that might sound tacky, but I really truly do mean it. True Trading Group is not about Lamborghinis and mansions and private jets. It's real people, real stress, real finances, real life. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Joe. So I shared this on my Twitter. If you guys want to follow, or X, if you guys want to follow me on X, just go to it's Mike Edward _TTG. Again, it's Mike Edward _TTG. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter or X. And here's the message. And I just want to read this to you guys for a second because this warmed my heart today like you couldn't imagine. Hi, Mike. I wanted to give you and Adam and TTG a huge thank you. I do not make much at my job. Literally every dollar I make goes towards bills. Last year, I had a lot of unexpected health issues and 2 surgeries. I thought I was past it, but now getting hit with more issues, which comes more medical bills. Because of TTG, I don't have to stress so much as I would if I didn't trade. I'm looking at the amount I've made in January so far, and I'm like, oh, thank God, that should cover all, if not most, of my upcoming procedure. I would be severely in medical debt if I didn't have this skill and TTG and have no idea how I would pay for this procedure. Thank you truly from the bottom of my heart. When I read a message like that, I just know that I'm doing the right thing. And it might sound corny, but it's like when you sit back and you think, like, honestly, like when my daughter was born, my first kid, I don't know, I started thinking about, like legacy and my life and like, what am I here for? And all this other stuff. And I think about, and I get messages like this, and it just lets me know that I'm where I should be. I don't know. That might sound corny, but I don't know. It really is incredible to get a message like that and to see the positive impact that we have on members' lives. These are real people. These are real stories. These are real lives that are being impacted. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to see the impact that we've had on so many people. And, companies are taking notice of it. Like the NASDAQ has taken note of what it is that we do at True Trading Group. The NASDAQ, we actually have a data partnership with the NASDAQ, where they actually invited my partner and I down to the NASDAQ to witness the closing bell and to take part. There we are. That's my business partner and I at the closing bell at the NASDAQ. And they congratulated us by putting our company name and logo up on their big LED billboard in the middle of Times Square. So it's nice to see the recognition from industry leaders like the NASDAQ. And of course, I already told you guys about the Benzinga Award for Best AI Analysis Tool. I mean, the two things are unrelated. And it's just, I don't know. This makes me feel good. Warms my heart on a cold northeastern day. We're supposed to get slammed with snow on Sunday too, which sucks. I hate the snow. I hate the cold. I really do. I got to get the hell out of here. I'm coming back down to Miami soon, guys. Just FYI. I've been up here in New Jersey for too long. It's too cold. I'm done with this. 25 degrees and all this nonsense. Get out of here. Get out of here. Joe, I'll see you soon. Joe, I will see you soon. All right. But there you guys have it. So again, I know I kind of went off on a tangent there a little bit, but I don't know. That stuff is meaningful to me, and I figure I would share that with you guys. And thank you to the member that sent me that. And thank you to the member for sharing that. That is, it's awesome. I mean, obviously I wish you a full and speedy recovery. It's unfortunate that you're having the medical issues that you're having, and I hope the procedure goes well. And I'm just happy to know that TTG is a big part of helping you get through what it is that you're dealing with. All right. So that's all. All right, folks. Anybody have any questions for me? Anybody have any questions for me? Like I said, make sure you tune in on Monday. On Monday, we're going to be going over some 2025 outlook stuff, what we expect on the year, what stocks that we're looking that I'm looking at, what areas of the market I think are going to outperform in 25 versus 24. So that's going to be on Monday. So make sure you guys set your reminders for that. And then in the meantime, like I said, you go to ttgtrial.com. Those of you that are not yet members, and you guys, take part in this with us for the next 7 trading days. Do you guys have any questions for me before we break? You guys have questions, now's the time, or forever hold your peace. My thoughts on recovery of Eli Lilly or United Health. So United Health had their first revenue miss in 4 years. There's a phenomenal support level at 450. So I think you've got to be a buyer close to 450. Like if the closer it gets to 450, I think you got to be a buyer of that. I will tell you, I'm a little cautious on there being change with health insurance coverage and regulation. And there's this battle that's beginning to take place between health insurers and the drug producers and what's covered and what's not covered. So I wouldn't be surprised if something happened that sent United Health lower. I do own United Health. It's my largest healthcare position. I've owned it for a long time. Obviously, I didn't just buy it now. I have no intention of selling it, if that makes you, tells you anything, but I have no intention of selling it. I think it's one of the best. It's the largest medical insurer, and I think they're one of the best medical insurers that's out there. But I don't know how the stock would react if there was any change to the health insurance industry. Depends on what the change would be, but I wouldn't be surprised if over the next couple of years there were changes made. Is the 25 outlook just for members or all on YouTube? No, that is just for members. The 2025 outlook report is just for members, but I will discuss some ideas for 2025 on Monday night's live stream, which will be on YouTube. But all of the detail, the individual stocks that I'm buying and some of the things that I'm selling that I already own, the details will be for members only. But I will go over some ideas and thesis and what I think about the markets and what sectors I think are going to do better than others on Monday night. I have a question about time and sales prints. If there was a big print on the ask and that price gets taken out and or above that big print, does that mean that it's a no factor? Eddie, I got to be honest with you. I don't use time and sales prints at all. I don't use it at all. I really don't. The only time that I'll really use it is like when I'm trading like a small cap. Because small caps are so much more. And when I say small cap, I don't mean like the Russell. I mean like the penny stocks, like the $1, $2 stocks that sometimes give you short squeezes. When I trade those, there's a lot more. There's a much higher percentage of retail activity in those stocks than there is like a Tesla. So when you look at like a Microsoft, a Tesla, Nvidia, those stocks are 85%, 88% of the volume that's transacted in those stocks during the day is computerized. There's a very small percentage that is retail trading volume. A lot of it is algorithmic and computerized institutional trading. Small caps, that number is a lot lower, and the retail participation number is much higher than the average large cap stock. So it's easier to see stuff on level 2 and time and sales. But I have never looked at time and sales trading Tesla and been like, ooh, doesn't tell you anything. I don't use it. I really honestly don't. There's some other traders that'll teach you to use it. I don't use it. Let me see. I know that probably shocked the hell out of you, Eddie, right? I feel like me saying that might have just shocked a lot of people. A lot of people might have just been like, what? I thought time and sales was everything. I thought level 2 was everything. It depends on your trading style. It does. Depends on your trading style. But I don't really incorporate, when it comes to large caps, I don't really incorporate. I really did. I know. I threw you a big curveball there. That's a Barry Zito curveball for all my baseball fans. Best curveball ever. That's a Barry Zito curveball for you. But yeah, I don't really use time and sales. And I think if you're trying to, you're probably getting a lot more false signals than you are getting actionable signals, depending on your trading style. Just because a 5,000 share print goes off on Tesla doesn't mean it's going higher. It doesn't. Does the inauguration tend to be bullish for the market? Usually it's possible you can get another bump next week as the excitement of Trump's presidency, and obviously today was a big Trump bump type of day. Bitcoin and crypto went crazy because everyone's expecting there to be friendly and favorable policy enacted under a Trump presidency regarding crypto. So crypto went nuts today. Tesla went nuts today. Everyone knows the Elon Musk relationship there with Donald Trump. So Tesla went nuts today. But we'll see. We'll see what happens on Tuesday. I think that you could have at least the start of a bullish day. But I think we're getting up into some pretty big resistance levels on the market. And let's actually go to the market real quick. Let's go to the SPY. Is the boot camp for current members, or we will need to purchase it? RADA, the boot camp is only for members. Yeah, we don't open up the boot camp trainings to outside. It's for members only. So see this level that we have up here. Like I'm cautious. Like I don't think you're going to get this. I just don't think you're going to get that. What I think is possible is you have Tuesday's price action. Like let's say the inauguration happens. Tuesday's price action is still bullish. Then you get a gap up. And then when you have this gap up, everyone thinks this level is broken. And what ends up happening is you get a candle that looks something like this. See that little indecision doji candle? Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Damn it. I'm going to move this line out of the way so you can see the candle. See that? And then the next day, damn it. Arts and crafts is failing me right now. And then that. So you get a candle formation that looks something like this. Right? See that? And then I think you can have enough, and then you can pull it back in. I think that's more likely price action where you get this like abandoned baby. I think you have the possibility of an abandoned baby candle formation happen maybe next week, where it's like the inauguration, excitement, gap up, and then fade it off of the all-time high. I think that is more likely price action than this. You know, and then maybe a pullback, reset, and then new high. Like I think that's less likely. You know, I think that's a lot less likely. So I'm looking to be bullish early and then cautious later in the week. Right? I'll be, cautious then later in the week. Can you explain the Japanese carry trade possibilities? KG, I mean, the Japanese yen carry trade, we already had that scare back in August. It was a really good buying up. I actually bought on that day. So on August 5th, my daughter was just born. My daughter was born July 31st, July 30th. And July 30th. Wow. My daughter was born July 30th, and August 5th was the Japanese yen carry trade. I had just I'm like 2 days home from the hospital. And the market completely tanks, and everyone's talking about this Japanese yen carry trade. And 90% of the people that we're talking about on social media have no idea what it actually meant or what the Japanese yen carry trade is. And everyone's like, oh, this is it. This is going to be the blow up. And I'm like, we're down now. The S&P is down 10% off the high on August 5th. So I came on the True Trading Group and I told everybody that I was actually buying on August 5th. Turned out to be an amazing buy. I mean, on August 5th, I bought everything. I bought, Palantir. I bought Kava. I bought NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta. I mean, I just bought all my tech names. Plus Kava, and it was just an amazing opportunity, because I think it was just such a huge overreaction where everybody felt like it was going to be like this end all be all disaster. And essentially what the Japanese yen carry trade is that you've had this situation in Japan where interest rates have been zero for so long that essentially people would borrow money in the yen. They borrow money in Japanese yen, and that would carry an extremely low interest rate. Okay. And then you would convert it into a different currency, and there would be this spread that you could make, and you can actually make money between the difference in interest rates that one country will have versus another. As Japan would raise interest rates, as interest rates would go up, then that trade gets blown up, because there's no longer this spread between currency and interest rates that you can make. This is a very complex thing, right? This is not a trade that any retail trader is actually in. It is professionals that are in this trade. It's financial institutions that put these trades on and then mess around with currencies like this. It's not something that retail traders are doing. And when those interest rates would go up in Japan, it blows up the opportunity for you to make money between the two different currencies. So that's why that whole that trade has worked for a very long time. So that trade had to be unwound. People had to get out of that positioning because it wasn't necessarily as profitable as it used to be. So they had to get out of those positions, and everyone was like, oh, that's going to create this big ripple in the financial system. And it really didn't. It was like 1 or 2 days of severe price fluctuation as you had, liquidity issues in different parts of the market. As a lot of these large positions got unwound, you had this like brief fluctuation for 2 days, and then it very quickly settled down. And I don't believe that you're going to have another issue like that where it's going to be a bigger problem. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is another situation where there's some worry about that. But that Japanese yen carry trade, that happened in August. I don't think it's going to happen again. And if it does, I don't think that it's going to be this big shocking moment that's going to send ripples through the whole entire financial system. I don't see it. Wasn't it a surprise? It was a surprise for people that don't follow that trade. Like, I mean, I don't know what your experience level is, KG, but I'm willing to bet prior to August 5th, you had probably never heard of the Japanese yen carry trade. I don't know your experience level. Maybe your experience, maybe you know about it. Maybe you followed it for years. I have no idea. I could be wrong. But for some reason, Sunday into Monday, all of a sudden Reddit and Twitter blew up with the words Japanese yen carry trade. And I'm like, and everyone's talking about like, oh my God, this is going to be a disaster. And I'm like, did you even know, have you ever even heard of those words together prior to that day? No. If the answer is no, then why do so many people have, I'm not talking about you specifically, but I'm talking about all the people that were on social media about it. Why are you so sure this is going to be this disaster of an event if you know literally nothing about it? And I think that it was more just of a situation for your fear mongers on social media, people that have been saying the market's going to crash 80% for the last 3 years. I mean, there's literally people on Twitter that since 2022 have been saying that the S&P is going to go down 80%. And that was 60% ago, right? The SPY was 350s, 360s, and they're like, the SPY is going to go down 80%. Meanwhile, the SPY is at 600. And you were saying at 380 that the market's going to go down. And then when the banking crisis happened in 2023, they're like, oh no, Lehman Brothers moment. And I'm like, not even close to a Lehman Brothers moment. You clearly don't know anything about what happened with Lehman Brothers and the global financial crisis in 2008. If you were trying to compare what happened in 2023 to what happened in 2008, if you actually thought that those two things were similar, then you know nothing about the great financial crisis. Know nothing. I lived through the great financial crisis. I know you all lived through it too, but I was on Wall Street working at a hedge fund during this. Actually knew somebody that worked at Lehman Brothers that committed suicide over what happened because his entire life savings was in Lehman Brothers stock and he was 2 years away from retirement and literally lost everything. It's nowhere near comparable, but all of these idiots on social media that are literally just trying to scare the crap out of you to convince you to buy their book or to buy their program or to do this or do that. They try to scare the crap out of you into thinking the market's going to crash. Meanwhile, it just keeps going up and eventually they're going to be right. Eventually the market's going to crash. But if the market were to crash from 380 or 680, that's a big freaking difference. It's like the person that says, oh, it's 2 o'clock. Well, if you ask that person, what time is it? Every hour on the hour, eventually they're going to be right. Eventually it's going to be 2 o'clock, but they're going to be wrong for the next 11 hours. So it's just like, you can't, like, you have to be very careful. The people that you listen, the voices that you listen to on social media, because if their well-being doesn't relate to you actually being successful, you got to be careful, man. You got to be careful. You know, you really do. And there's like specific people that I have in my mind that for the last 3 years have literally been calling, just scaring everybody and talking this dumbest shit on social media. And I'm like, dude, you realize that while you're sitting here talking about the market's going to go down 80% when we're at 380, you realize the gains that you're missing out on. And people read that shit and they don't invest, or they sell their positions and they watch the market go higher and they're sitting there waiting for this 80% doomsday that never comes. And then they finally decide, you know what, the hell with this. I'm going to put my money back into the market. And then that's the top, and the market comes down. And they're like, oh, I knew it. And then they panic, and they're like, this is the doomsday scenario that he warned me about. And you panic, and then you sell. And that's the bottom of the market, and the market recovers. It's the exact opposite of what you're supposed to be doing as an investor. You're supposed to buy low and sell high. When markets go down, you're supposed to be buying. Instead, when markets go down, everybody gets scared into thinking that the market's going to keep going down. You can't. It's not the way to do it. Don't ever plan for a doomsday scenario. Ever. The likelihood of a worst possible scenario happening is so incredibly low, it is the least probable scenario. 2008 was a worst possible scenario. Worst, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, and it was a horrific economic disaster. Horrible. The worst recession we've ever had. Now, is it possible something like that happens again? Yes. Will something like that happen again? Yes. When is that going to happen again? I have no idea. Here's what I do know. Every 1 to 2 years, the market gives you a 10% correction. Every 3 to 4 years, it gives you a 20% bear market. Every 6 to 7 years, it gives you a recession. So I am not going to sit here and invest. And what's even less frequent than that is a severe recession, which is 2008, dot-com bubble, early 1980s, right? These are severe recessions. I'm never going to plan for the worst possible scenario. I'll be a buyer all the way down. My hard set rules are markets down 10 to 15%, buy something. Markets down 20, buy a lot. Markets goes in, we go into a recession, we're down 35%, go fully invested 100% of my cash into the markets at that time. And if something breaks and there's a severe recession, markets go down 45, 50%, so be it. So what? I'm 10, 15% early from the bottom. Who cares? If there's a severe recession, that means that something broke. And if something actually breaks, like in the credit system, it takes time to recover. So you're going to have depressed prices for 1 or 2 years, and you can just take money that you generate from income and put it into the market over that time period every single month over the next 1 or 2 years, and then by the next 2 to 3 years later, you're back in the green. You know, even if you were the worst possible investor in 2008, if you bought the dead top of 2008, you were back to break even by 2010. You realize that? A lot of people don't realize that. Cool. I'll show you. Let's go to SPY and let's go to the weekly chart. Pan this all the way back to 2008. Let's go to 2008. So let's say you sucked, right? You're like the worst possible investor ever. And you put your money in at the dead top of 2008. You took your entire life savings and you put all of your money in right there. And let's consider you never added. Let's consider you never added. The market went all the way down and you never added not one time. Let's just say every dollar you owned, you put in at the high of 2008, right there. Okay, let's see how long it took you let's see how long it took you to be break even. 2011. Really? Really? Seriously? For real? That's if you're the worst possible investor the world's ever seen. You bought the high of 2008. And if you just average down one time, well, then now you're break even here. Now you're break even by the end of 2009. You're break even 1 year later. 1 year later, you're break even. Maybe a year and a half later, you're break even. This is why, okay, this is why when markets go down and when markets crash, you need to be buying the crash, not panicking and selling the crash because every idiot on social media is telling you the stock market's going to go to zero. The United States economy and the stock market is not going to zero. And if it does, you don't have to worry about money because that means the whole world has gone to shit Aliens have invaded. The zombie apocalypse has taken over. Nuclear war has wiped out all of civilization. And we are all living in the woods, living off of canned foods and grubs and leaves and berries. And your money is useless. The currency then becomes ammunition and food and medical supplies. And that's what makes you a wealthy person at that time. So when this stuff happens, you don't panic and sell. You have a brain in between your ears, and you know what you're doing, and you can maintain your control and your emotions, and you buy those opportunities because they do not come around often, and they give you the greatest long-term wealth building opportunities that you will ever experience in your entire life. Selfishly, I love when there's a recession because I buy the crap out of everything. Do you have any idea what I did during 2020? Anyone that was a member of True Trading Group or anyone that was on my YouTube channel, I was going nuts in 2020. Every live stream that I did in 2020 was me screaming from the top of my lungs, me screaming from every rooftop I can climb to buy this sell-off. And that's exactly what I did. I literally bought here, here, and here. I bought that entire sell-off in 2020. And then what happened? Nothing major. No big deal. NBD, no big deal. Nothing happened, right? Buy recessions. Buy the recession. Don't sell in the recession because stock markets bottom in recessions. Okay? Markets don't bottom after recessions. They bottom in recessions. We'll go back to 2008 to prove the point. Let's go back to 2008. Here's the recession. Recession begins. There's the bottom. We were still in a recession at this time. We were still in a recession here. But the market had already bottomed. And if you waited until the U.S. economy had climbed out of recession to put your money back into the markets, then you, my friends, lost money. Because what you probably did was the markets crashed, you panicked, and you sold everything. Then the markets recovered, and you're like, oh, we're not in recession anymore, and then you bought back in here. Well, you sold here and you bought here. That's the opposite. You sold low and you bought high. That's the opposite of what you're supposed to be doing. So don't let all these people on social media, okay, I don't care if the market goes down 40% this year. It doesn't change anything that I'm saying to you because I will be a buyer. I very selfishly hope that the markets pull back to here. I want 480 on the SPY so bad. You guys don't even understand how bad I want this pullback. So one of the things that I also like to implement is I always like stocks that I really like. I always like to buy them at their 200-day weekly moving average. So the 200 weekly moving average is always a place that I like to buy stocks that I love. Okay. And when I look at this setup on the SPY, this is the previous all-time high, right? From 2021. And we broke, and now you got this 2023 and 24 rally. A pullback to retest that prior high puts you back at that prior high, but it also puts you this yellow line. That's the 200 weekly moving average. That is such a gorgeous, gorgeous buy point. I will load the boat on a pullback to 480, and I hope I get it. Selfishly, I hope I get it. But I don't know if we have that big of a pullback. Like, I think we're going to have a pullback at some point this year. I just don't think it's going to be that big. But I think we can see a correction this year. 10, 12%, 13%. I do think that's possible. I think there's going to be a point this year where inflation moves higher and people get very nervous. All right. So that's it. That wraps it up for me, guys. It's Friday. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the extra day off on Monday. You know, I didn't really intend on having a macro, bigger picture conversation with you guys on this live stream, but it turned into that. So one thing I'll always do is talk about stocks and sports. That's one thing you can always count on me for. I'll see you guys all on Monday, 6:30. Set your reminders for the live stream. Don't forget, to join the trial, ttgtrial.com. Name, email, phone number, click yes, I want this, fill out the form, pay the $3 one-time payment, and then get your butt in chat. Start following along on some of these trades. Let's make some damn money together. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, folks. Take care.